The strengths of masculinity and manhood, unfortunately, are being used against men at times. Normal masculine strengths or their ability to perhaps assert themselves being misconstrued. Attacking fathers, for example. When was it, about a year ago, I went to the beach reading a book, just relaxing, and the peace in the environment was disrupted by a lady in the background that started shrieking. Quite a lot of verbal barrage, and I quickly had a glance, and she was actually verbally abusing her husband, and it went on for quite a few minutes. What struck me from that was a couple of things. He actually assertively responded to her. I was quite impressed in his ability to assertively communicate back. And that was particularly important role modelling for their 5-year-old son that was also in the middle observing this verbal barrage. But the other component was her turning around to her son and saying, "Your father's an idiot." And hands down, that's just wrong. So there's this demeaning of the father role in insults like that, for example.
I'm horrified to hear that, and I'm more.
I was horrified to hear it.
Yeah, but I'm also more horrified reading through all of these notes to discover that abuse against men is a whole lot more common than we think.
It is. Australia really needs to have this conversation. Where women were many decades ago in terms of the silent phenomena of domestic abuse is really where men are at now. I'm not sure if you're aware, our own Australian Bureau of Statistics, there's a statistic in there that 70% of male victims experience assault by a female perpetrator in the home. And that's a higher number than the female victims at 64%. Why aren't we talking about those numbers?
Well, how's a man going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Where's he going to go? Is he going to go to some authority and say, my wife is beating me or something? Well, they're not going to be believed, are they?
Exactly. This is part of the social influences and the social determinants of health that we need to really put onto the table, particularly in looking at a national men's health policy, because of these kind of issues. The kind of abuse a man may experience by a female perpetrator, a woman's not likely to pack a punch the way a male would, for example, but women abusers, unfortunately, may be very good at sugar-coated viper tongues. So there'll be a lot of statements that are hit below the belt.
Like, your dad's an idiot.
Like your father's an idiot, or you think you're a man, or you think you're good in bed. Another example in social media that we see quite often, or you might hear quite often and don't bat an eyelid at, are things like on the radio a few weeks ago. This particular radio station had a wife calling in to tell her husband of over 10 years that he doesn't sexually satisfy her, and doing that over radio. And I just wonder, would the radio have had the husband do that to the wife?
Yes.
You raise a very interesting point.
How would we react to that? And yet we sort of go, ha, that's funny. And yet, is it really? You're hitting men at an important part of their identity. Quite literally and metaphorically, you're hitting them below the belt. And it's very insulting to men.
We see it in the media often as well, don't we?
We see many images that we don't bat out an eyelid very much. So, yeah, away from the domestic front, we've got quite a few images